welcome back to the Traders Network. I'm Michael Yorba, your host. Thanks for joining us. We're also streaming to you live on yorbamedia.com and broadcasting from the Dallas KFXR 1190 AM Clear Channel studios. All right, I've got Bill Solms, CEO and Director, Wave Systems Corporation. Bill has got a tremendous background in technology, over 30 years in the industry. Without going through the litany, but Bill, if you would give us some background, it's amazing, from the Department of Defense to Oracle, to some of your other background that you've had. Bring that out for us, and then let's dive right into what Wave Systems does.
Okay, Michael. Yeah, thanks. I'm really I'm excited for the opportunity to talk to your listeners. You're correct. I did spend 24 years on active duty overall in the U.S. military, where I did a number of things, but eventually left at the end of 2005 to work at Microsoft for several years, and subsequently worked for Oracle, some smaller companies, and then I came to Wave just about 6.5 months ago because of the opportunity that I found here and what we could do with Wave Systems.
Well, let's not leave out that as your career in the U.S. Army, you were also working in the Pentagon services as a member of the Joint Staff.
Yes, that was my last assignment on the Joint Staff, supporting the Joint Chiefs in the Pentagon, and so certainly got to see a lot of things that were going on, and how technology, amongst other things, was supporting those operations. Yeah.
Right. Now the audience can start to connect the dots. Tell us about Wave, what the company does, and then we'll break right down into your products.
Sure.
Oh, wait, symbol on the company. I'm sorry, I didn't even do that yet.
Yeah, WAVX, WAVX.
Thank you.
Is our trading symbol on the NASDAQ. So what Wave is we're a cybersecurity company. We do, to give you the quick, technical phrase, we do encryption and strong authentication based on a hardware root of trust. But what does that really mean? Primarily it means our two biggest portfolios cover things called self-encrypting drives, and also which handles things that protect against data loss protection. If you lose your laptop, the data that's on there is all encrypted and something that's very, very hard to crack. We manage that, and we also have software that manages strong authentication through something called a TPM chip, or a Trusted Platform Module chip, that makes it extremely difficult to log in somewhere and authenticate and not be who you say you are.
Okay. All right. Well, open that up. Let's dive into the product mix. Now, that's an overview, but let's break it up for everybody, because there are some really strong applications on multiple levels with what your company does. Yeah.
Well, let me start off with the self-encrypting drives first.
Sure.
Self-encrypting drives were invented by our chief scientist, a guy named Bob Thibodeau. He was the original patent holder, and we now hold the patent for that. We don't make self-encrypting drives. We partner with a number of major drive manufacturers who do. What we do is our software gives businesses the ability to manage those self-encrypting drives from the enterprise perspective. It allows them to put group policies out that cause these things to known to be encrypted and initialized amongst each of their users. And what makes these different, Michael, is that there's a little chip, piece of hardware inside each of the drives, and every time you read from the drive or write to the drive, it encrypts and decrypts on the fly with extremely little latency, so that your hard drive, the data on there, is encrypted with a very strong encryption. And let's say you lose your laptop or it gets stolen or something like that, you know for a fact that that data isn't lost. And with our management software, you can actually legally attest that the data wasn't lost or was encrypted when it was lost. And that allows you to avoid the fines and reporting requirements in the laws when a company loses data on people. And you've probably seen that fairly frequently in breaches that are reported in newspapers, et cetera.
Right. There's big applications when it comes to the medical industry with the HIPAA laws too.
Absolutely. That is that's one of the biggest groups of customers that we're talking to, because they worry about losing all the HIPAA data on folks, and the financial ramifications when a company has a loss like that are huge. And so to be able to say, when you can legally attest that that data was encrypted when the device was lost, you fall under the safe harbor provisions of the laws, which means that legally you didn't lose the data. So you don't have to, you don't get fined for it. You don't have to notify the individuals. You don't have to give them free, credit reporting, et cetera, for a year, like I get from some large companies that have lost my data in the last year. So financially, it has a very, it really reduces the risk to these companies, just like some of the things you've seen in the news recently. So we have a lot of very interested healthcare companies and hospitals that are talking to us about that.
Well, you've already got the good housekeeping seal of approval from some of the clients you have, automakers, BASF. Give us a flavor for who's already using your system so people can get an idea of the scope here.
Sure. Well, yeah, our big customers, and of course, this is public knowledge, but GM, BASF, BP are all large, very large users of our management software, particularly for self-encrypting drives. PricewaterhouseCoopers uses our TPM Management. They're a very large customer of ours. But the interesting thing is, when we talk about who needs this sort of thing, the question is, which vertical out there doesn't need it? We use this phrase that the market is moving in the direction of, wave systems. And what it means is 2 years ago, if we had gone into these typical large customers and said, hey, we want to talk to you about your cybersecurity, needs, we wouldn't get a lot of traction. And today, who doesn't know about the latest breach that's out there, whether it's Target or a hospital losing a laptop with HIPAA data on it? Every week it seems like we're hearing about something. And so cybersecurity is an excellent segment of the market for wave systems to be in, and we're quite happy with the way things are going. We're seeing it, dramatically affect the number of customers that we're talking to, and certainly our pipeline for 2014 is seeing the benefit of that.
Okay, going forward in your industry sector, how do you see this unfolding? It looks like everybody's going to have this all the way down to the retail customer eventually on their watches that they talk through.
Yeah, no, there's huge impact, and that's one of the reasons why we're so excited. I haven't even told you about the TPM management side yet, so I'll just very, very briefly discuss that. So when you normally log in, with your user identity, your username and password, we find that a lot of times that's easy to phish, or the data, that sort of data is easy to figure out or to crack. And our TPM management software allows you to take advantage of the TPM chips, which have been shipping in business-grade laptops, desktops, and tablets for the last 5 to 6 years. So there's already about 700 to 800 million of these chips out there right now, and people don't even realize they have them, and they just need to turn them on and manage them to get the benefit, the significant benefits of this hardware encryption the hardware authentication, and it. So when you use your user identity to log in, what goes along with this now is this TPM chip sends this very, very cryptologically strong key pair with it, and both those are required to gain entry to the network that you're trying to gain access to. So it gives you very, very strong endpoint security that really changes the whole paradigm on the security of protecting the networks and protecting the critical IP and data that these companies have on their networks.
This is definitely a must in everybody's portfolio, let alone protecting their business systems. I'm sorry, we're out of time, but real quick, contact information for you, and it's WAVX. WAVX is your stock symbol.
Yeah, absolutely, and wave.com is our website. We're going out and doing multiple events here in the near future. We'll be big at the RSA conference at the end of February. Be happy to talk to folks and explain in more detail what we're doing.
Thank you, Bill. We'll talk to you very soon.
Thanks, Michael.
My pleasure. Bill Solms, CEO, Wave Systems Corporation, and special thanks to Monk Media and 1-800-PublicRelations.com for all their PR and media support. Coming up next, Nick Santiago, President, CEO. We're going to talk about all the regular markets that we talk about and get some real nuts and bolts on the table for us next. We'll be right back.